Here with head coach Bobby Barbier, the Demons heading to Stephen F. Austin. Another finale, the final Southland Conference Series for the Demons over in Nacogdoches against the Lumberjacks. And coach, this is another one. We talked about it before you went to UCA. Another coach, you've been around a long time, and Johnny Cardenas, and a relationship that goes back more than just, or maybe a little deeper than just between the lines.
Yeah, no, love Johnny. We were talking a bit this morning about the weekend. So it'll be good to go back and see him. Hopefully we can keep our relationship. We've got some stuff down the road that we scheduled. And one, I guess, positive that may come out of this stuff is having those non-conference series. We got a bunch of teams that are like us. And they're looking for games, and it's getting harder and harder, it seems, to find these non-conference games, especially as we go to fewer conference series. So yeah, hopefully we keep a good relationship there and able to play those guys a bunch.
Well, you've kept, for better or worse, a good relationship with one-run games this year. And your first full weekend back at home, and your guys put you through 3 one-run games. You did tell them what you went to the hospital for, right? I mean, they're not actively trying to harm you, are they?
I hope not. No, these one-run games, and you probably know the numbers better than I do, but it seemed like early in the year they weren't going our way. We lost a ton of them, and we kind of talked about on here. If you stick with it and you stay with it, it'll turn for you. And I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of guys that fought through and didn't give in when it just seems like the game's going against you, and you keep losing those one-runners. And we're starting to the fortune starting to come a little bit on our side. So it's good to see. It's good to see what I had an old coach used to say, stick-to-itiveness. What that brings, and it's nice for them to be rewarded for sticking with it.
Well, there's no one who probably sticks with an at-bat on this team better than Jake Hayes. And there's, as much as you want to have Dante Stewart up when you need a big in terms of distance, in terms of exit velocity hit, you may not want anybody up when you need the bat on the ball more than Jake Hayes. He tied the game, the final game of the series, he tied it in the 7th, was at the plate when the tying run scored in the 9th, won it in the 11th. The game before that, he tied it in the 9th. He's just a guy that, it seems simple, put bat to ball, good things will happen.
Yeah, one thing about Jake is Jake doesn't get too worked up. He's a very even keel player, which I love about him. And not to say he doesn't play with passion or emotion. He does all those things too, but he doesn't get too worked up in those spots where he leaves what he's good at. And I think that's special for a player. I think a lot of our guys could probably use learning from that and seeing what Jake can do in those spots and keep his heartbeat low and really do a good job in knowing what kind of hitter he is in affecting the game. So he's been great in those spots, and it's the chicken or egg, right? It's do I get the hit early in those spots and I'm confident in it, or do I get confident by getting the hit? Whatever way it goes. So it's been nice to see.
Well, it also took a lot of guys holding the rope and keeping the line moving, and I think you talked about it. The quality of at-bats you guys have gotten probably since about the Abilene Christian series. Your team batting average is up almost 30 points in the last 6 weeks. But the quality of at-bats are getting better, and therefore the results tend to get a little bit better. Still some bad luck at times, but sticking with the plan, sticking with the approach has provided a little bit more production.
Yeah, that series specifically, we changed some things, and the guys' credit, they bought into it. And we made batting practice a little bit different, focus on staying on the ball a little more and not swinging from the heels and, seeing how many we can hit over the fence, and we weren't going to be that team anyway. So we need to get back to who we were. We talked about Jake. We need to get back to what we could do well and the ways that we could win the game. And through that 6-week period or whatever it's been much better.
You pitched it well again. I think if you got those 4 starts, or 3 of the 4 for sure, if you got that every weekend, you'd be one happy head coach / pitching coach.
Yeah, we've got some dynamic pitchers, in that rotation, and Johnny has scuffled a little bit, and that happens, over the course of a career. He's or a 2-year career, I guess, is for him. He's going to work hard at it. There's nobody's going to work harder than him. But the other 3 guys, they can, when they're good, it just makes it really hard on you. I think Donnie is tops in the league and batting average again to an ERA, and Levi obviously with the strikeouts, and then Cal has probably been our most consistent pitcher, throughout the whole season. So we have a bunch of different looks, which makes it tough on the offense. And I feel good anytime those guys roll out there. And if they pitch like they did this past weekend, we'll be okay.
And we've talked about him before, but Drayton Brown comes back. First time you really brought him back in an extended work the second time in a weekend and just really kind of held the rope there to make sure you were able to walk off McNeese in Game 3 of the series.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work out like you want it to, but this has worked out with Drayton or anybody in the bullpen. Because of the limited time preseason and all the stuff we had going on, we didn't want to bring those guys back right away, especially multiple innings back. We just didn't think it was healthy for them, especially since two of the arms we use on the bullpen are freshmen for the most part. I mean, two of the the go-to guys. So we said we're gonna try to bring them in slow to be in that position. So by the end of the year, we can have a chance to be able to do some of that stuff. And you're seeing it now. He's conditioned to do that now. Other guys are conditioned to do that now with, even though they're not necessarily starts or outings on the weekend, guys that had pitched on our Wednesday sim game and were able to bounce back for the weekend. So we've trained those guys to do that for this time of year. And I know it's a little different than we did it in the front part of the season, but it's, he's been great. He's filmed the strike zone, multiple pitches, and he's just been fantastic. We got Cameron Taylor, was tremendous. Kept us there, right? And even had some bad fortune and still kept us there to have a chance there in the last inning and only keep it to 1 run. So Cam, I can't say enough about those guys and just their ability to stick with it when things aren't quite going their way, and being able to finish the way we want to finish.
And when you look at SFA, kind of the same thing. Very similar team again to you. Batting average is not where they want it, but they've hung in and they've gotten to where they've been peaking they hit a little rough spot too. They peaked maybe a little early, but the results show you what they can do in the past.
Yeah, no doubt. Same team that went into McNeese and swept them at their place. I think McNeese has got a really good team. Obviously, we played them in all those close games. So I'm anticipating a tough series. Anticipating a tough series. We need to play a little better on the road. We don't get to host a conference tournament, so we got to go on the road and play that one. And it starts on the mound. It starts with those guys giving us a chance to win. I think if we can get off to a good start and we can keep having those at bats that we talked about that we've been having, I like our chances.
All right, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thank you.